I wanted to talk about what the worst thing about living in Japan is. Well, I'm glad there's a bit of a breeze today. It's like 93 degrees Fahrenheit. The rainy season was so long here in Japan. The whole month of July, it was just raining. But let me tell you, the heat in Japan is nothing like I've ever felt in America. And it was hot where I lived in America too. I have to go buy a fan for my apartment because it is getting so hot that my one little air conditioner in the apartment is just not enough to keep things as cool as I would like. We're gonna hope that we can find a fan that will fit in my bike. We're gonna try. Let's go. These places are always like so white, like white bright. They kind of blind you when you first walk in. Aha. These should fit. These are actually smaller than I thought. Maybe they'll fit in my bike. Boxes look so big. I don't know if these boxes will fit in my bike. Oh man, I don't know. What about this little tiny one? But the box is big. These are crazy fancy. They like blow cold air. They're very expensive. Like, this little one looks small, but I'm standing in front of it and it feels fine. Is wireless charging for your phone? What? I can just lay my phone right here and charge it. That's 2021. Well, thing is I have to go eat lunch first. I'm so hungry, so I'm gonna eat lunch and then we'll come back because I don't want to carry this fan around. Whew, you gotta love that mask sweat. So I wanted to talk about what the worst thing about living in Japan is. But before that, since it's so hot today, I went with cold udon. This is tempura chicken. This is tempura with mixed vegetables, and this I think is a giant jalapeno. Okay, so the worst thing about living in Japan. First time I ever came to Japan was in 2014, and I came for about a 10-day trip, and that was in March up in the north, and it was super cold. It actually snowed while I was on my first trip to Japan, so I was just bundled up the whole time. And I remember thinking like, oh man, Japan is so much colder than back home, and I think it was just because it was in the north and it did snow that day. Like, it doesn't really snow all that much in mid-March in Southern Virginia, like if at all. So I had this idea that it was gonna be really cold. Well, then when I moved to Japan in 2018 and I experienced my first summer here, it was like, and it was unlike anything I'd ever experienced, weather and temperature wise. Like, Virginia is a pretty humid place, and I remember like in college and during summer breaks and stuff, like the humidity was a killer walking to classes and stuff, but I never realized how bad Japanese humidity was until I actually went back to the US last summer and spent my first summer there in a few years and realized that the temperature was the same, like, you know, 90 to 95 degrees, but the humidity was so much worse in Japan, and it wasn't as bad in America, and it felt like going outside in America, at least where I lived in Virginia, was just so much nicer. Like, I could breathe and function. But in Japan, it's killer. Like, I wouldn't ever want to spend a very long time in Tokyo or any other concrete jungle during summer. Like, last year I spent a bit of August in Tokyo and it was fun, but it's just most of the time I wanted to stay in the hotel because I don't do heat very well in the first place, but it was just so hot and made anything to do outside just not that fun. And I know a lot of people don't choose to come to Japan in August unless they're coming for some event or Comic-Con or something, because people who've been to Japan in August know how terrible it can be. And now that the rainy season is over and the sun is out and has been out for a few days now, the heat is really starting to hit people again. Staying inside is not always the answer either, because a lot of Japanese apartments are super small and most of them only have one air conditioning unit. So what you might be used to in the West is a central cooling system where you just have vents all over your house that pump cool air through, or take out the warm air. But in Japan, it's ran by these things called air cons, and usually they're only in one room. Like, for me, it's always been in the living room in apartments that I've lived in Japan, and you kind of have to make that one unit be able to cool off other rooms. A lot of Japanese people actually just end up sleeping in the living room or whatever room their aircon is in. I guess that's why futons are very useful, because you can just lay them out anywhere. But yeah, it just becomes way too hot in the summer to cool down an entire apartment in Japan, even though they're very small. And really, it's the humidity that's worse than anything. I never knew these existed when I lived in America, but in Japan they have like these, I don't even know what they're called, but you put them around your house and it's supposed to like suck the moisture in through these little beads, and then like the device fills up with water over like the course of a few weeks, and then it's supposed to keep your things from molding. Like, it's a good idea to put them in closets so that your clothes don't get moldy. It's, you know, very common for things like futons and mattresses and stuff to get mold if you're not careful about looking out for it, because the humidity is so bad here. You know, I used to say when I lived in America, oh, it's like I'm walking through hot soup, but that's an exaggeration when you live in America, at least where I lived. And in Japan, it's just like a totally real thing. You feel like you are walking through soup. One of the biggest helps for the heat for me though was actually doing my hair. What I mean by that is I got the Japanese straight perm treatment about a month ago now. And like, my hair used to be so poofy. You probably noticed in other videos, it was like so poofy. And there's frizz now, but it was nothing as close to as it was. Like, all of my summers are just full of like poofy hair. And so getting the straight perm really helped, and it made my hair thinner, and it makes it cooler and easier to deal with. Like, my hair was just so big. It was like wearing a scarf. Japan also has a bunch of cooling items. That's like their big marketing thing in the summer is cool wear or cool house items, such as like cooling pillows to sleep on, and you can actually get these almost like mattress pad things to put on your bed. My favorite thing ever are the cooling wipes in Japan. I usually have, do I have it with me now? Let me check. I don't have any on me now, but I have like the kind of like germ-free wipes or whatever, but they come in a pack just like this, and it's supposed to make your skin 3 degrees Celsius cooler. That's what they say. And they work. Like, if I'm outside and there's a nice breeze, I just like wipe off any of the sweat or grossness off my skin, and like the wind just makes it feel nice and cool. You know, when I was a kid, I used to, you know, eat, who didn't eat popsicles as a kid? I used to eat popsicles to keep cool, but then like when I got a little older and was in college, I didn't really eat ice cream at home that much. But in Japan, it's like, even if I don't want something sweet, I will eat ice cream because it just cools me off so much, especially in the afternoon when the sun is setting and it's like beating through the windows of the apartment. It's nice to have something to kind of cool off with. I will not want anything sweet, but I will eat the ice cream anyway. If I am going to go out in the heat in Japan, which I really try not to, I try not to like plan too many things that have to do with going outside, because I am a ginger and I will burn. But if I do plan something, I try to drink a lot of what Japan calls Pocari Sweat. And it's like kind of an energy drink kind of thing, and it's so good, and it kind of helps you stop sweating so much, and it gives you those electrolytes you need back. It's so good. If you are gonna come to Japan in the summer and it's just almost unbearable, grab you one of those Pocari Sweats, because I don't even know how to explain it. It just, it helps you endure it. It's like life juice. One of my favorite things I like to do in the summer is take cold baths, and I've been buying these like cooling bath salts that have lemon, lime, or mint in them, and they save my life. Never really used them much when I was in the US, but I use them almost every day. The cooling bath salts are so, they just, even if you have the water on warm, like if you're not one of those people that can take a cold bath, it's just like fill it up with warm water and put the bath salts in, and it'll feel like you're warm and cool at the same time. It's the weirdest feeling. So yeah, I would say for me, the cooling wipes, the Pocari Sweat, and the bath salts are the 3 things that really save me when it comes to surviving these crazy summers here. Most people tend to get winter depression. I say I get summer depression because I do not at all like the summer. I don't like the heat. I don't like the bugs. I really miss winter so much right now. Well, I think that's all I have to talk about. I finished my udon, so let's go see if we can find a fan that will actually fit in my bike. If it doesn't fit in my bike, I'm just gonna have to carry it on my bike, and we'll see how that goes. Thinking about going with this one. It has a remote and I'm lazy, so. And the box looks small, so maybe the box will fit. We're just gonna buy it and try it. Good news is that it's super light. So biking with it won't be a problem as long as it'll fit in the basket. Oh, yeah, dude. I don't know why I was worried. It fits, right? Maybe? Maybe? That's as good as it's gonna get. I'll see if I get it home without any problems. Hey guys, it's a few days later, but after I got the fan home, we opened it up, put it together, and it worked just fine. It's really nice to have, so just wanted to update you guys that I did not break it when it fell off my bike into the road and a car almost ran over it. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like the video if you like it. Big thanks to my Patreon supporters for supporting the channel and supporting me, and I'll play with you some other time.